my name is Jada and I love marine biology. I have a specific interest which is in jellies. Within this category we have the regular jellyfish, which is more well known, and then we have the lesser known comb jellies. In this presentation we are going to discuss the anatomical and hunting differences between these two animals. And we are going to start with the anatomy of the jellyfish. Right now we have a diagram of the Pacific jellyfish. And according to the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, the basic anatomy of most jellyfish is to have the epidermal layer over here, which is considered to be the bell. And then we have the subumbrella, which is this light blue area over here. This is what's going to be contracting like muscles to allow the jellyfish to move in that flowy pattern that we all recognize. We then have the specialized stinging tentacles over here, which have the nematocysts, which we will discuss later on in our presentation. And then we also have the oral arms, which grab the prey and then bring it up into its mouth, which then the prey will pass through into the gastric chamber over here. And there is only one way in and one way out of the jellyfish. And now we're going to transfer on over to the comb jelly. Right now we have a diagram of a sea gooseberry. And as you can see, we have the epidermal layer over here and how it has it in an ovular shape. And according to the Smithsonian, most comb jellies have the same basic design, where they have the oral arm over here, which will come out whenever they're hungry, and then they will grab their prey, bring it up into their mouth area, in which it will go pass through their stomach, and then it'll actually leave through a separate area, and this will be the anus of the sea gooseberry. And then also these oral arms, they don't have any stingers. They actually have an adhesive, which we will talk about later. And then all combs will have these areas, which are known as the combs, and they are millions of cilia that move in a pulsating pattern that allow the comb jelly to move, because these don't actually allow for movement, but these guys do, the pink over here. And then whenever the sea gooseberry is not hungry, these will go back in, and then the combs will make it move along its day. And then now that we know the anatomical differences, we're going to transfer on over to the differences between the stinging cells and the non-stinging cells between these two creatures. We have the nematocysts here, which are the stinging cells, and we have we have the neutral, we have the getting ready, and then we have the active. So with the neutral, we have the spiralized filament of the nematocyst and how the barb is down. When it's getting ready, the spiralized filament will activate and have it become a spring, and with the barb sticking out. And then once it is fully activated, it'll spring right out, and then it'll have the barb up over here. And this is when the neurotoxin will actually pump from the filament out of the barb and into its prey. And then remember those sticky cells that we had on the comb jellies? Well, those would be the colloblasts, and these would be the colloblasts over here. Again, we have our neutral, we have our getting ready, and then we have our active over here. And so what's going to happen is that the spiralized filament that we recognize from the other ones will pop it out. There will be the excretory bulbs that will flare out, kind of like a fan. And then when it's fully jutting out, the adhesive will pump out, and then it will go outside of the excretory bulbs, and then it'll release this adhesive, which will then capture the prey of the comb jelly. And so actually some comb jellies will use their adhesive and steal nematocysts from other jellies, and will use that for their prey as well. And with the nematocysts, the box jellyfish can actually kill a person in less than 2 minutes for their neurotoxins that they use that come out of their barbs. And in conclusion, what we have here are two similar creatures, but they are very different. And the main differences that we're going to have is the shape of the epidermal layer The jellyfish has two different types of tentacles, and then the comb jelly has non-stinging tentacles, and it has an ovular shape instead. I hope that you enjoyed this presentation. I hope you have a great day.